Hi, welcome back to the Finley Formation. This is Brandon.
This Gage.
And this is Jared.
All right, guys, week one is in the books. I think there was a few surprises out there. But I don't really. I try not to get all worked up over week one because, like we said last week or last year, the first 2 weeks, Saints scored like 90 points and then just didn't do anything after
they
that.
combined for 91 points.
I mean, I remember Hunter was already saying they're the best team in the league,
Mm-hmm.
everything. But then I think they ended up winning like 6 games,
Yeah,
something like that. So. I don't know. Looking at this one, honestly, if I'm going to say it. I think it's kind of funny that the Daniel Jones looked like Tom Brady facing the Dolphins. Man, that one surprised me. That was crazy.
I think every time I looked up, the Colts were scoring a touchdown or Tua was turning the ball over. It was like, what is going on?
Right, and that was a total team loss by the Dolphins. I mean, Tua had 3 turnovers by himself, 2 interceptions, fumble, and and then their defense just looked like Swiss cheese.
Yep.
I don't remember hardly any pressure on Daniel Jones at all. They were showing like a clean pocket all the time on when they were redoing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy coaching with Ryan, he's a Dolphins fan. And we were giving crap over text about it. He's like, what, man? We always start off slow and we always end slow. It's going his plan.
We just got to wait till the middle part of the season and then we'll start winning some games.
It surprised me. I really thought Miami was the better team going into this one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe their game plan just didn't really work out for them.
Well, it's crazy to look at it because it's like if you just look at base stats, like just pulled up on Google, you don't know where the scoring came from. Because Daniel Jones only threw 1 touchdown.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor didn't get in the end zone. But Daniel Jones had, 2 on the ground, too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think he had 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, right off the bat, it was a huge momentum thing because it was like they go down to score, and then Tua gives them the ball back, and then they go score again. So, I mean, when you're down 14-0 right off the bat, and then you just throw another pick, yeah, it was all momentum in that game, and it was ugly. That was my, one of my losses for the week, and I was kind of surprised. We talked it up big that they had Indy favored in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe they know more than me, I guess, sometimes, but.
Yeah, Espen knows what they're doing every once in a while.
Vegas always knows for some reason. It's kind of weird.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't 33-8, kind of, because it was only like, point and a half.
Yeah.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this wasn't like a super shock to me, but looking at the stats in the game, it was a shock. In the Bengals-Browns game, I knew it was going to be a real good game because of the way the rosters match up. But Joe Burrow threw for 113 yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, who thought it was going to be
big.
a defensive battle?
Right.
I did. I told you Grant Delpit and Denzel Ward were going to lock down T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins had 3 catches for 33 yards, and Jamar Chase had 2 for 26.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe the Browns defense, fine, but the Bengals defense, they did pretty damn good too.
Yeah,
and that surprised me because I know the Browns just are the Browns on offense, but still the Bengals defense had to play. So
they still let Joe Flacco complete 31 passes for 290 yards.
Yeah,
so
no, you had to, and they still had 14 points out of it.
I think 16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, should have won the game.
Did that end 17-16? Was that the score?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
that was not the lowest scoring game that was not one of the lowest scoring games I would have predicted,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, I think I predicted 24-21.
Yeah.
So I knew the Browns defense was going to come in huge, and you expect the Browns offense to be dog shit. So
yeah. Anybody who had the Bengals, any of their players, Jamar Chase was probably the first player taken in most fantasy drafts, and Joe Burrow wasn't far behind him as quarterbacks. I mean, I had Joe Burrow. It's you're screaming at the TV, wondering what the hell's going on because that was ugly.
Unless they listen to the Finley Formation and the only one that knows ball on here, and realizes here's Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to be locked down by the 2 best corners in the league, and nobody listened. So
nobody listened.
That offensive line for the Bengals was terrible.
No, they have been for 3 years, 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the Browns have like the best D line in the league too. Mason Graham had a hell of a game, and knew Myles Garrett was going to have a hell of a game.
Did you guys see that video? It was like the end zone cam of Myles Garrett coming around on a loop on Joe Burrow when he threw a pass. It was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would have probably retired. The hit that he put on Joe Burrow, I was like, oh my god,
it was bad.
I would have called it quits after that. Jeez.
Well, he got 3 sacks in a row?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was 2 Myles Garrett, and then who got the third one? It was damn near a safety.
I mean, I guess they probably went into that one, licking their chops, going, "Hey, man, we can break some records with this game," and then they just did. So, I think one that really surprised me at the weekend with these teams too is the Broncos. Like, they did not look good.
Mm-mm.
Like, their defense still played well, but even then against a rookie quarterback, and maybe that shows how maybe Cam Ward is actually going to be pretty good. But they didn't look like the team I thought in week one either.
Yeah.
Their offense definitely didn't.
Right.
The little bit of that game I watched, he looked like a wizard out there, man. He was making shit happen for the
He
Titans.
was, yeah. I think I turned it on pretty late in the fourth quarter, but there was like the last two drives, he put it on Calvin Ridley a couple times and he just dropped it. I was like, pretty impressive
Yeah,
throws
they should have
too.
won that game. He was just, I think, a huge part of his, yes, Michael Vick type of throw power.
Mm-hmm.
So receivers aren't used to catching that anymore.
Right.
But
He was laying it in there, man.
Threw
Like,
two
ooh.
seam beaters,
Mm-hmm.
one to the Calvin and one to the tight end. Both were dropped. Threw a corner to Calvin Ridley that was dropped.
Yeah,
He
he
had a hell of
looked
a
good.
game.
He did
Yeah.
look good, and that's kind of what I'm wondering too, because it's week one. We don't know. Maybe the Broncos deal settle in or whatever,
Mhm.
but you're wondering, all right, maybe we overrated their Broncos defense, or maybe
Well,
he's that good.
It's like Jared always talks about too, with who wins free agency doesn't always pan out the way they should. They came off great defense. They're supposed to be so highly projected this year
Yeah.
because Greenlaw, Hufanga,
Mhm.
and that lineman they picked up.
Yeah, I think it was more
And-
the 69 sacks they had last season that I was pretty excited about
Mhm.
doing again, and maybe they're just, maybe they're not going to be that good. I'm not going to try to get
Well, the
too
one
crazy
thing-
after
yeah.
week one, but we'll see.
And the one thing I'll never hate on the Titans for is their O line is never the worst in the league.
Right.
They always have a solid O line.
Yeah.
So
I think Tony Pollard, he's a running back, right? I thought
Mhm.
he had a pretty solid game as
Yeah.
far as going against that defense anyway.
yeah.
'Cause I think the Broncos were one of the top run defenses too in the league last year.
Yeah.
hmm
To me, the most surprising game, which I thought going in was going to be like a contender for game of the week, was the Lions and Packers. And so I got a stat because I think I ended up texting you, and you were just like, "Man," talking about the offensive line and about how bad they were. So the Lions ended up with 46 rushing yards total. So I went back, and they've only had one rushing game under 100 yards last year, but that was with Goff also throwing for almost 500 yards, and they ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
So Goff only had 225 yards passing this game, but 65 of it came on that very last drive. So just how surprising the Lions' offense was, how inept they were, and to not
Yeah.
like getting any yards with Montgomery and Gibbs, and
Yep.
they still got St. Brown, and I mean they were just limited. They couldn't do anything.
Well, it's funny, and you look at it, it's like, wow, Ben Johnson must have been that good. But he didn't do that much for the Bears either.
Yeah.
They didn't look insanely impressive, and they still
Yeah.
lost.
I kept waiting for the Lions just to snap out of it.
Yeah,
I
me
kept,
too.
okay, they'll make it at least look better down the stretch or do something, but it
They
just
never did.
never happened.
Nope.
I think
Yeah.
though, I even have it wrote down here. I think they're gonna, I think they'll bounce back, and I think we'll see them
Yeah.
still be one of the most powerful teams in the league, and I think they will end up beating out the
Well,
Packers for the
I mean,
division.
Jared was talking about that interior line for the Lions and how that's going to be trouble, and I think it's going to take a little bit to gel, but
is.
it could,
Yeah.
and I still think they're going to figure it out. But man, they look like shit against
Mhm.
those Packers though,
They did.
and Packers might just be legit too. I mean, they really went at that Lions defense like it
Mhm.
was nothing. Well, what did that one end up being? 31
No, that was. I think it was like 27-13 or something
was
like that.
it?
But the big stat on that is second half wise anyway. They just seemed like the Packers kind of just geared it down a little bit because Jordan Love only threw 6 passes the whole second half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think they kind of just toned it down a little bit with that big lead.
And then it was Josh Jacobs after that, just
Mhm.
hammering
Pretty
the
much,
ball
yeah.
away. Yeah, I that one was shocking. Yeah, I disagree. I thought the Bears showed a lot of potential. I thought, that's what I have in my notes. I was like, they showed some potential. And
Potential doesn't put points on the board, man.
well,
You can't win games because of
That one-
potential.
I
That
mean,
one to me, like after 3 quarters, I was sitting there watching. I was like, this game feels like it should be like 30-3 or something like that.
Mhm.
It's just the way Minnesota wasn't doing anything on offense. It seemed like Chicago was kind of moving the ball well, but they weren't putting any points on the board because I think they only had 10 points at the time.
yeah,
It was just like, how does the Bears only have 10 points the way they've moved the ball the first
Mhm.
half? And then I have it as JJ. The first 3 quarters, he was 7 out of 12 for 56 yards. And then fourth quarter, he was 6 out of 8 for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown.
yeah.
So they kind of seemed like they either figured it out or something happened in that fourth quarter where they put
Yeah.
up 21 points
Yeah.
on him.
And he still was just ass.
He
I mean,
he didn't look good at all.
it was funny because Hunter walks up at the game yesterday, and the first thing he says is, "JJ McCarthy used to go to Tagovailoa's ass." It was the first thing he said, and it's like, well, JJ didn't
Well,
look great either.
Yeah,
But Tua definitely looked terrible.
he did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that defense last year had a way of doing the same thing. It seemed like bend don't break philosophy for Minnesota.
hmm
I mean, until it seemed like the end of games when they would get, let teams kind of back in it. But I feel like the Bears pretty much kind of did what they wanted within the 20s,
Right.
and then they did kind of peter out when they got there. I don't know why the hell he didn't decide to kick a field goal the one time when they were like on the 20-yard line. It was
Yeah.
4th and 3 and he went for it. I mean, that does a lot for momentum for the other team. It didn't really do anything for Minnesota, and I'm just sitting there. I was looking on my phone going, kick a field goal. They're going to kick a field goal. That would have put them up like 13-3 at the
Right.
time, I think.
Mhm.
And then no, he didn't. That was like remind me of his old head coach, the dude for
Dan-
the Lions.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, he learned that from him being aggressive like that. But he should know that it's going to get
Right.
his ass in trouble.
Yeah.
So, and then Vikings come back.
Yeah.
But,
And it was a really good week one. We had a lot of comebacks,
We
a lot of
did, yeah.
game-winning drives.
Yep.
mhm,
A lot of
Yeah.
games that came down in the fourth quarter was pretty entertaining, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, the Niners that was a bad watch.
Oof.
It came down to a fun last drive, but it was a rough watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm so glad they got rid of Moody.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I'm okay taking chances on a new kicker at this point
Right.
because that was
You
ridiculous.
can't get much
Dude.
worse than that.
I watched that guy, and it wasn't in a game scenario, of course, but he made an 81-yard field goal in practice.
Is that new guy they
Eddie
got?
Pinheiro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Eddie.
wow.
Who did an 81-yard field goal?
Well, Jake Moody's missing 27-yard field goals. so-
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, like we talked about the Bengals and the Browns, where I thought that was going to be kind of high scoring. And then I thought the Jets and the Steelers one would be kind of more of
Right.
a low scoring
Yeah.
one. But that one ended up being, 33-31 or something like
I
that?
think it's 34-31.
Yeah.
I think
something-
something like that. 34-32 or something like that.
Yeah, they just kept, and Steelers defense looked like Swiss cheese
Mhm.
there too. I mean, those Jets with Fields just did whatever they wanted.
They did, yeah.
I mean, they finally found Garrett Wilson, opened him up again. I haven't seen a game from him like that in a long
Right.
time. It feels like Brees Hall ran good. That whole offense just was clicking.
Yeah.
Fields could, he'd drop back and pass or he'd throw, and it was either one. He was, his money.
Yeah.
Fields actually looked good.
He
and
did, yeah.
He actually just physically looks pretty good in Jets uniform too.
hmm
I didn't expect it, but he
Yeah.
looked pretty clean in Jets uniform. So
Yeah, I think that was
good
one of the talking points, like preseason, was how Fields and Brees Hall were going to look together, like revamped running offense for the Jets, and
Mhm.
I have it as they had 182 rushing yards. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think Brees Hall went over 100, and then Fields had about 50 or 62 by himself,
Yeah.
which is surprising against the Steelers defense because they put up 394 total yards on that defense, which was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I'm going to look back to see what I even had that game score, what I thought it was going to be, if I have it on here. Steelers Jets 20-10 is
Yeah.
what I thought. So I thought 30 points scored
Total,
altogether.
yeah.
Yeah.
and it was
They-
34-32.
Yep, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I don't expect the Jets to score that many points all year, but you never know. If that offense stays clicking
Right.
like that and they don't have a whole, 6 months to prepare for one defense,
Mhm.
they can still get it done. Yeah, they're gonna make some hay in that AFC East. So especially with the Dolphins playing like they did and the Patriots losing the way they did too. The Patriots looked bad against
Yeah,
them.
that was surprising.
And we had such high hopes on them, Gage. We're still.
Oh,
I haven't
I still
lost them
do.
completely, but man, Gino looked good.
Gino looked good.
I haven't lost
So-
any.
I think
the
it was
Patriots
like a
will still play after.
typical Geno game. Like you're gonna get like the big splashy Geno plays, but I think he also took like 5 sacks, and I don't know. He's just a wild card because he's gonna throw for a lot of yards, I think, and take chances. But he's
Mhm.
also like gonna get sacked a lot. He's gonna throw interceptions, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just an older Jameis Winston.
He is pretty
That's
much,
all he
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Should we get into the game of the week then? Those Ravens.
Yeah, we can. But I wanted to mess with you a little bit so far. Your AFC East prediction of 3 teams coming from there. I mean, it's looking a little weak. I
you
mean,
got 17
is.
more weeks, huh?
Yeah, got 17 more weeks.
Yeah. yeah. Game of the week. Go ahead and get started off on that.
Cool. So of course I got all the stats down, and it's pretty funny to look at because there's the argument of Oh, Lamar should have won MVP.
Well, you
Lamar
got to
should have-
announce what the game of the week is
yeah.
to the
I
people.
thought it was just that obvious, but it's Bills Ravens. Yeah.
What?
And
Yeah, which one?
It's just so funny with this whole narrative, the whole offseason. Lamar should have won it. Lamar should have won it. Josh Allen put up a better stat line in the fourth quarter alone than Lamar did the whole game. So Lamar Jackson went 14 for 19 for 209 and 2 touchdowns, and then six runs for 70 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen, he put up 33 for 46 for 394 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was 14 rushes for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. But fourth quarter alone, he was 16 for 21, 251 passing yards and a passing touchdown.
Yeah,
With 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone.
it just felt like their offense was on the field that whole fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then, of course, Derrick Henry went 18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns, but then had the
Had the phone.
Yeah.
game-losing fumble.
The dude was
so-
averaging 9.6 yards a carry,
Yeah.
or did average.
Yeah.
And that is
Well, then you said
Crazy.
Lamar 6 carries for 70 yards. That's
Yep.
11
Mhm.
yards per carry. So between them, they were every time they ran the football, they were getting at least 10 yards, which is
Yep.
crazy.
yeah. The Bills defense did not do well. I
Mhm.
mean, I know they came up with that fumble, but other than that, I mean, this defense really did not play well at all.
Yeah. And then the kid who is not good enough to be wide receiver 1 and should be top 10. And just Jared absolutely hates him.
Oh, and Zay Flowers.
7 catches for 143
Yep.
yards and a touchdown.
He went off. Yep.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes back to, I remember last year we were talking about it when I first started to come on. We were talking about like MVP race because they hadn't announced it yet. We were talking about Lamar and Josh and just how much more I think Josh means to his team. So that kind of, I was going to bring that up too about like just the volume of production that Josh Allen has to produce for his team just because of his surrounding cast. Yeah, I mean, he had 46 pass attempts and 16 rushes, so that's 60 times he had the ball in his hands. Compared to Lamar had, you said 19 passes and 6 rushes. Like the
Mhm.
stuff that Josh Allen has to do for his team to win compared to
Mhm.
what Lamar has to do for his team to win. Like Josh
Yeah.
almost has to do that every week
Mhm.
for his team to come out on top, where Lamar can rely on
Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry and his supporting cast, where Josh pretty much has to do it
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah. If
Which
you
is-
put
which is
Trubisky
crazy.
at the helm of this, they are not winning that
No.
many games. And they're
No.
definitely not winning
Right?
that game.
There's not a lot of
Sunday night.
quarterbacks that could probably do what Josh Allen did in
Yeah.
that fourth quarter, to be honest with you,
Yep.
which was crazy.
Yeah, and one thing I kind of noticed was like the Bills' line did good and seemed like pass protection.
Mhm.
They did okay there. It was like they could not block at all in the run game.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a tribute to the Ravens defense, which you can't take that away from them. They have a good defense,
Mhm.
but man, I think all they got was 3.5 yards a carry. And that's with Allen. I think he had, 6 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry, something like that. But I mean, James Cook didn't have very many yards. I think he was under 40 yards.
He had that
Yeah.
long reception though. I think that was
Yeah.
his big contribution. I think he had a rushing touchdown too, but
Yeah, and then just the Bill star other than Josh Allen was Keon Coleman. He had 7 catches for 112, and then of course that touchdown that was intended for Shakir and then tipped by the tight end.
Yeah.
yeah. So I obviously being down by 15 with like 4 minutes to go, it takes a little bit of luck. So I go like to the last like 3 drives that the Ravens had the ball, they punted it. So it was 40-25. They ended up punting it, and that's when it landed on like the 2, and then the Ravens defender went into the end zone. And then the Bills went on a 10-play, 80-yard touchdown drive. But if that's down at the 1 or the 2, I think that's a totally different story. Even if they go down and score, I'm thinking maybe 4, 5 more plays to where you're taking maybe 2 more minutes off the clock.
Mhm.
And then after they scored that, so on that 10-play touchdown drive is the tipped pass on 4th down and 2.
Mhm.
If that goes incomplete, then they don't score a touchdown. The Ravens get the ball, probably game over.
Right.
And then scored that touchdown to make it, what was it, 32-40
Mhm.
or 33-40, something like that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
32.
it
Yep.
was 2 plays later is when Derrick Henry fumbles the football. They get the ball back, score to make it 38-40. And then not going for it on that 4th down, I thought that was a bad decision for Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it was tied, if it was, they were only down by 3, if the Bills were only down by 3, if it was 40-37, I could see them punting the ball. but you're punting the ball knowing that they have a chance just to kick the field goal and win. I think
win
you
a
have to
game.
go for it then. I don't know.
And your
Yeah.
running back is averaging
Right.
over 9 yards a carry.
And your quarterback's averaging
Quarterbacks-
11.
Yeah.
So
But they punt it, and they only need, 3 or 4 yards? And that was would you say 4th and 2?
no, so that was 4th and 2 is when on the tipped pass
Oh,
that
okay.
happened where
The
he caught it.
Ravens had a 4th and 4.
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
didn't go for it.
Yeah.
So
But-
it wasn't far, is what I'm saying. It was within that.
Yeah,
You know,
they
those
should have
carries.
went for it.
Mhm.
But you're also looking at it, and you got a guy who, yes, although he's 2 for 2 already on the day, hasn't worn an NFL jersey other than that day in the last 3
Right.
years.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe we do make
Right.
this 41-year-old who hasn't
Yeah.
who's coaching Pee Wee football nowadays.
Right.
Let's have him go out there and see if he can beat us.
Yeah.
But-
Here's a question: does this change your guys' mind on either team? Like, to me, watching this game, it was kind of like, I think Gage and I at least had them 1 and 2 on our preseason power rankings, the Bills and Ravens.
Mhm.
I don't think it changes much.
No.
I think these are probably, watching this weekend, probably still the 2 best teams in
It
the
was a
league.
heavyweight fight,
No,
and it
it-
come
it
down
does.
to that last
Does it
haymaker.
change it for you?
It does change it for me because
Oh, wow.
I had the Ravens at 1 and the Bills at 2.
So
So now I
does
got
it
to put
kinda
the Bills
swap
at
you
1.
Oh, okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. But still,
I got you, yeah.
it's still like, yeah.
Right.
1 and 2.
Yeah, I thought it just come down to that last
I don't know.
haymaker. And, I mean, Josh Allen willed his team to victory. And like you said about the MVP thing, I mean, there isn't a team that plays as well as the Bills do that rely on one player
Mhm.
more than him.
You might have to
You know,
put the
more than
Colts.
them.
I have to put the Colts at 1 or 2, man.
Yep.
Move them up the rankings
Yep.
a little.
Yeah.
Nah, it was a great game. Me and Gage were sitting there. We were watching it downstairs. And at one point, we were like, well, if Bills don't score a touchdown here, and this was early in the fourth quarter, then I was like, I'm going to bed, dude,
Mhm.
because, I was going to get up and go hunting, and all that stuff. So Gage's like, yeah, I'm going to go home if they don't score. Well, they didn't score, so we kind of took our time, but we're still just kind of like, and then all of a sudden, they get the ball back. I don't remember how, and then they score. So we're like, oh, okay, maybe we just, settle back. I kicked my chair up again, and then we started watching it. And I'm glad we didn't, just quit then, man.
And I
But-
scared the shit out of my dog on that fumble. You see, what was it? Ed Oliver break
Oliver,
through
yeah.
and punch it out.
Yep.
And we both jump up, and I accidentally step on my dog. He was just scared as shit the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
we're yelling and hollering and stuff. That
That's
was a
funny,
great game
yeah.
to watch. That's why we like football right
Yeah.
there.
Then
But
I
I-
also
yeah.
scared the shit out of him on that Jake Tonjes touchdown,
Yeah.
which I also want to mention. The
Uh,
announcer is kind of a piece of shit and also got proved wrong for that game because he's sitting there. Who even is this guy? Nobody's even heard of this guy on Jake Tonjes' first catch.
mhm.
And then he makes another catch, and he's like, wow, he got him again. Holy shit, what a touchdown. It's just, he was talking shit on this kid, and then he goes out and wins the game.
Yeah. Yeah, hell of a game. Way to start it off on
Mhm.
Sunday Night Football. Monday night was okay. Vikings come back and won, but Sunday night was where it was at
Yeah.
this time. Yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the game of the week?
The only other thing that I remember pretty much all offseason or preseason anyway, we talked about how Allen's, Coleman and Kincaid needed to like step up from what they kind of produced last year. So last year in the playoffs combined, in the wild card game, they had combined 4 catches, 52 yards. Divisional game, 2 catches, 16 yards. And then the AFC Championship game combined 3 catches, 25 yards. So in the 3 playoff games, they combined for 9 catches and 93 yards. And that I remember talking about it last year, about just how he wasn't getting any production from his top 2 targets. And then this game, they had a combined 12 receptions, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
hopefully Coleman and Kincaid can kind of keep that trajectory to where, Allen has true number 1 targets he can
Mhm.
target them. Because that first touchdown to where he ripped it across the middle to Kincaid, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he might be the only quarterback in the league to make that throw.
Dude, to
Yeah.
split
Oh
those
my-
defenders
yeah.
like that.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And actually, after watching week 1, I think Cam Ward is the only other
Cam Ward-
quarterback in
Cam
the league
Ward.
that could do
He
it.
did.
Cam
He
Ward
was
can't-
thrown on a
he
rope.
was.
Man.
Yeah,
Yes,
he was.
has a hell of a
And
arm.
Calvin really was dropping him.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad his tight end would have catch him. Ikem Okongwu or whatever the hell.
Okay, so let's go into our overreaction, underreaction. We'll start with the overreaction. So,
Ooh, I didn't prepare for this one. You're going to
Okay.
give me some time.
okay, so
forgot about this
I'll go with
segment.
my overreaction. My overreaction was the Lions offense. You hear a lot of people going about it. And we mentioned it earlier too. So it's just, I think the O-line struggled bad. I do think they will gel. I think it'll get better. And so I think like a lot of the overreaction is talking about their coordinator being gone. Is this team going to be good? I've seen a lot of that. So Yeah, I really think that that's an overreaction. I do think the Lions, like Gage said earlier, are still going to be good. So yeah, that was my overreaction.
Okay, I got an overreaction now, and it is the Dolphins. They're still a playoff team. I mean, you just have bad games, and of course, Tua doesn't have a brain anymore, so they might end up on their back quarterback eventually. But I think they still have the roster to make a playoff push.
I don't. Yeah, I like that you chose something like that. I just don't see it. I mean, that team looked bad from like all everything just looked terrible. I don't know about a playoff team. I do think they'll bounce back a little bit.
They did have their 8 points though, man. They look good on that drive.
Yeah, I'm glad I had Avachian on my team. So
Yeah, if you had a Miami player on your team, it probably wasn't good.
yeah,
My overreaction for the week for week one, Chiefs defense is shot. I think they're old. I don't think they have the leadership that they need. Chris Jones was locked up by Joe Alt all game. If he was playing on that right defensive end spot, Joe Alt locked him up. And I have a stat. So Chiefs only are allowed Justin Herbert threw for 318 yards. That was the first 300 passing game. They've only allowed one 300 passing game in the last 44 games. And it was last year against the Raiders.
oh, the Chiefs.
Yeah, and they didn't have a 300-yard passing game in 2023. And then the last one before that was the Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts in 2022.
Wow,
So
that's a heck of a stat.
so I know it's probably an overreaction since it hasn't happened very much, and Spagnuolo's still their defensive coordinator, but that's just my overreaction. Is the Chiefs' defense is probably shot.
Okay, okay. Underreaction. So what I have here is I have it like you just mentioned it too with Herbert, and so maybe you're right. Maybe everybody overreacted to the Chiefs defense, but I have a lot of people underreacting. And what a game Herbert had. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 318 yards, 25 for 34. I heard people talking about it, but not enough. I think that it was a great game, and you kind of put another spin on it too. I mean, maybe it is people overreacted to that defense, but yeah, Herbert kind of just did what he wanted that game. It was I know nobody had home field advantage, but that was a surprise to me. Wasn't to Gage. He actually picked the Chargers. I expected the Chiefs to, like you said, be able to lock it down a little more. And another on that one was Quentin Johnston too. That was part of my underreaction of that. They need to people should have been talking. He did really well.
Yeah. Okay, so my underreaction would be Brock Purdy, or I kind of have two now. It's Brock Purdy in the clutch. I mean, I've seen like one post celebrating his game-winning drive. That was 6 for 6 for 67 yards and touchdown. That's what you want.
With missing Juwan Jennings and George Kittle.
No George Kittle. No Ayuk, of course. Like, he's on his wide receiver 3,
tight end
3. Yeah. And he went 6 for 6 for 67 and touchdown. Then Matt Prater. And you heard it during the game, and I've been seeing it still. Was like, he's projected to get cut the second Tyler Bass comes back. And I don't know if you can make that projection anymore. I mean, he came out and he hit 3 big field goals and a game winner.
Yeah.
And he really cut that guy because Tyler Bass misses a lot of game winners.
Yeah.
And Matt Prater went out there and booted one. So maybe you cut Tyler Bass.
Yeah. My underreaction is actually is Michael Penix good? Is Michael Penix actually maybe a top 10 quarterback in this league?
Yeah.
I mean, he almost threw for 300 yards. His completion percentage was good. He led him down the field for a game-tying field goal that Younghoe Koo missed.
Decided to shank, yeah.
But their Atlanta running game is bad. What's that running back? Bijan Robinson had like 16 carries for like 40 yards, but he did have like over 100 yards receiving, I think. Just total, I think their running game is bad. But Penix, against Buccaneers defense that we think is actually probably pretty decent. Todd Bowles is still their head coach, defensive coordinator. He usually does pretty good against young quarterbacks. So I was pretty surprised with how well Penix played against that. And then Jordan Love, I don't know if we all thought, but the Lions defense should have been better. I don't think Aiden Hutchinson had a stat in that line or in that game, to be honest with you, which was surprising. Just how well the Packers looked in that game. So I think I had a number 2 seed in the NFC in my preseason projection. So maybe it wasn't so surprising to me because I picked them to beat the Lions, but the way they beat the Lions was surprising to me.
Yeah, I totally get that. Nobody was really like talking about him enough because it was a beatdown. So yeah. The one I do kind of say on that with Penix, I do think that he looked really good. I think he looked great. My only thing was is I did say that I thought that Bucks defense was a little suspect
Oh, did you?
during the season. I think you and Gage both liked them, but I did say that. So my only thing on that is like
Yeah.
maybe I'm right on the Bucks
Yeah.
defense, but I honestly I don't think it was the Bucks defense. I just think that he found his guys.
Mhm.
I
He
think
looked
it's the
really
Bucks
good.
defense.
I think he
he
looked pretty
should
good.
have.
But hey,
I think the way his targets have compared to the Bucks defense, he should have had a better game.
big thing that came out of that game though, Kyle Pitts was the number 2 receiver on the Atlanta Falcons. So is this a
Yeah.
reemergence of
Yeah,
Kyle
they
Pitts
finally
But
in
who-
year
finding-
5?
Who is
Finally
their
doing
actual
it.
wide receiver too, though? Because I think they have Drake London, and then after that, it's a bunch of bumps. ain't it?
Yeah, Daryl Mooney didn't, or Darnell
Darnell.
Mooney didn't play in this game. He was out.
Yeah,
So,
I think he got hurt during it.
Is he number 2?
So there's just, I think so.
I can't remember.
I think there was
mean,
nobody else to look at other than Drake London
He
and
had
Kyle
to.
Pitts.
He had to throw him the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to get the pick.
But yeah, I mean it happened, and it was a close game, and yeah, that one could have come,
Mhm.
could have easily went to them. So yeah, that's a good one. All right, let's go into this week now. Yeah, we'll
Cool.
go into this week. So who wants to call the game?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, the first game, of course, the 11 a.m.s and the 2:05 p.m.s, we have written down in different orders. Always it seems to happen.
Yeah,
But the first game I've written down is the Commanders Packers, and that's because it's Thursday night.
Mhm.
And man, this one I had to really think over because I think the Commanders are a good team, and originally I would have picked them, but the way the Packers manhandled the Lions, I got to go with the Packers.
Mhm. Yeah, I have the Packers as well. The Commanders
kind
kind
of
of.
you looking at there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The only reason I'm making you have to do a score. The only reason I'm making sure is because we have to make sure at least we do scores on Monday night games to
On
do
the-
tiebreaker stuff too.
Okay. Score prediction for this one. I think they're going to do it in the exact same fashion. I think it's going to be 27-13 again.
27-13. And
Repeat.
that's another thing before we do our picks too. So we had 6 people go in and I guess put in brackets for this week. So we're not going to do a payout, but the 2 people who won did have a tie. That's why I'm saying that too. I think they were 15-2. It was Quentin and Luke. But they didn't put down the Monday night tiebreaker score. So we got to make sure you put down the Monday night tiebreaker score. It could come down between that and getting a gift card or not. And we get all your friends involved. Share this. Get it out there so that way we can give away some money.
Get your spouses involved.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
find some people. But yeah, I already put that up for this week. So just so you know, we did have, I think Missy was in there again. Luke, Quentin was in there. We had Kel. He's on there most of the time. Brenda was on there. We saw her a lot last year. I'm pretty sure there was one more in it if I forgot who it is, though. But I'll get you on there. So, okay, sorry for the interruption.
Oh, did you do a score?
27
Yeah, 27-13.
I have the Packers as well. The Commanders, they kind of got lost in that. I think they had a morning game, 11 o'clock
Mhm.
game last week. They played the Giants, and I don't know, you just wasn't seeing too many highlights of what was going on. So I actually had to get on and look at stats, and I was kind of surprised that they didn't put up more points. They seemed like they were moving the ball fairly well. Jaden Daniels seemed like he was moving the ball well. Debo looked like Debo. Healthy Debo. They just don't have a lot of options. We kind of talked about how they didn't make a lot of splashy off-season moves to bring
Mhm.
more weapons in for Jaden Daniels. And then defensive-wise, I just think that, they kind of run it back on defense with the same guys that they had last year. So I think they're a little bit older. I don't think they're great, but I just think the Packers are too much. I got the Packers 24-17.
24-17. Okay. They got Packers as only a 3.5-point favorite, which I was kind of surprised. I thought with what the Packers did to the Lions, it'd be a little more. But I like the Packers here too. And it's, I thought the Commanders did well against the Giants. I mean, but still, I thought it would be more.
Mhm.
Like, I really thought it was going to kind of be more of a blowout, I guess I should say. But the one thing that the Packers aren't going to be so easy on the Commanders on defense, the way the Giants were. Giants could not. Russell Wilson looked terrible. Jordan Love and that offense for the Packers is not going to do the same thing. So I got it 31-17 Packers.
Cool. Yeah, the next game I got is the Giants versus the Cowboys. And we just talked so much shit on the Giants, and we're going to stay on that path. 'Cause I got the Cowboys in a bounce-back win here after losing to the Eagles, and I think they're going to do it in blowout fashion and beat the Giants 35-6.
All right. I like that.
We're going to see MVP Dak Prescott
Yeah.
again, even though he's never actually won it.
I like that as well. I thought, the Cowboys offense actually looked pretty decent against the Eagles defense. They were moving the ball well.
Mm-hmm.
CD had a couple big drops in that game that probably could have swung it maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
their offense looked good. I don't know if this is a hot take. Maybe the Cowboys are like the Cincinnati Bengals of the NFC, where their defense isn't as good, but their offense is good.
Was not good.
So I got the Cowboys as well. I think the Giants are just down. I think they score a little bit more points just because the Cowboys defense isn't as good as probably. Maybe they give up a couple of late points or a late touchdown, but I got the Cowboys 27-17.
Okay. They have Dallas as a 5.5-point favorite. Totally okay with that. That's probably about right where I would say maybe even a little bit more. But I like the Cowboys here too. I do think the Giants are going to rebound a little bit on defense. But I just even still, the Cowboys are just going to be too much for them. So I like it 21-7 and possibly a bit more. I could even go up to like 27 or something like that. But I'm going to say 21-7 Cowboys.
Okay, so I'm the only one predicting a massive blowout in that game, but we're all predicting the Cowboys win. So, okay, next one I got down is Steelers versus Seahawks, and this one I think the Steelers defense is finally going to play like the damn Steelers defense, and I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to beat them in a 17-10 low-scoring victory.
This one, I agree with both defense. I think both defenses are actually probably pretty good. I think the Seahawks defense has kind of proved it last week that how good they probably are. They kind of surprised me at how well they were against the run. It didn't seem like the Niners could get really anything explosive in the run game. Purdy in that fourth quarter kind of took over. He did a really good job on that last drive, throwing the football down the field on him. So I think there's plays to be made, but I have this one a little bit higher scoring. I have the Seahawks 24, Steelers 21.
So you're going Seahawks?
Mhm.
Okay, nice.
I'm going with a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, a little bit. They do have Pittsburgh as a 2.5-point favorite. The Steelers were going against the Jets defense. Aaron Rodgers did really good. I don't think that's going to be a weekly thing. I think that was a preparation thing probably. But I do like the Steelers, but I got the exact same score as Gage. I got the Steelers winning 17-10. And if the Seahawks do put up points against the Steelers, then I'm going to be worried about the Steelers defense.
Yeah.
If they go in and they put up 21 or even 30 points like the Jets did, then I'm going to be worried about that Steelers defense. But
yeah,
as of right now, I think they'll bounce back too.
Cool. Next game is Rams versus Titans. I got the Rams 24-17. And I'm not going to do very much explanation now because I got 17 minutes till my practice starts.
Okay, so you got Rams win that one?
Rams 24-17.
I got the Rams as well. I think they're going to score a little bit more points. I think it's going to be a little bit tighter. I got the Rams 28-20 Titans. Maybe CD or Calvin Ridley catches a few more passes to get that score up a little bit.
Yeah, they got the Rams by 5.5. I'm okay with that because I think the Titans had a pretty good showing last week. I do kind of like a lot of the things they did on defense, and we mentioned their offensive line. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going with the Rams 27-24.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, so Bills Jets is the next game I got. I got the Bills taking it 42-7.
I got a little bit closer game. It's going to be high scoring. Maybe just how the Bills looked with their run defense. I know the Jets don't have a Derrick Henry or a Lamar Jackson, but I think that run game between Fields and Breece Hall looked a little bit better than I thought it was going to, so I got the Bills 34-24.
34-24 Bills? Okay. They got Buffalo as a 6.5-point favorite. I'm okay with that. I think it probably should be a little bit more. But, yeah, I got the Bills winning it 30-14. I think the Bills aren't going to get down like they were in that last game. So I think, I think they're going to stay ahead, and I do think their running game is going to start working out a little better.
Cool. Next game I got is Patriots versus Dolphins, and I got the Patriots having a bounce back win here. I got them taking it 21-14.
It's kind of funny. Somebody has to have a bounce back game in this one, huh? And I got the Dolphins having a bounce back game. I think their speed finally kind of catches up. I think Achane maybe kind of can get in the open field a little bit. Waddle and Hill kind of get some touches where they can get in some space and some yardage. I got the Dolphins 27-24.
Yeah, they got Miami as a 1.5 favorite, which is fine. I think it's going to be close. I had a hard time picking this game. It's just like you said, somebody has to have a bounce back game. I had a hard time. In the end, I think we're going Patriots. I did not like what I seen out of the Dolphins defense. I know that our friend Kel says he really likes their front seven. I didn't see that. I did not see anything to like out of that front seven. Maybe just week one stuff, but yeah, I'm going Patriots 24-20. But it still wouldn't surprise me if that score was flipped and the Dolphins won. So I won't be surprised because Patriots did not look great either. So
Cool. Next game I got down is the Jaguars and the Bengals, and might be a little slept on. Might get some heat for this one, but I got the Jaguars taking it 37-34.
I like
this is when
that.
you're gonna take the Jaguars.
I like
Gives
it.
me shit all the
So-
time for taking them.
Yeah,
They always say the Bengals have a slow start, and now
Mhm.
they're saying they didn't because they beat the Browns.
right.
But the Browns should have won that.
Yeah,
And the
it
Bengals
was
have a
still a
slow
slow start. I
and we're
agree.
not going to see the Bengals play good until week 4. So this is the Jaguars' only chance to beat Joe Burrow.
Yeah, this one was probably the hardest game for me because you guys know I'm big on the Jags. I pick them to go to the playoffs. I liked how they sort of played in the first game against the Panthers, but maybe it's just the Panthers. But I have the Bengals scoring late, winning this one 31-28. And it hurts me to say that because I wanted to pick the Jaguars so bad.
Yeah, they got Cincinnati by 3.5. I actually thought they would have it a little closer than that, like a 1.5 type of thing, because I had a hard time with this one as well. The Bengals just did not look good. I do think both offenses are going to score here. So I got the Bengals winning this one as well, but 35-31. I have a high scoring
Mhm.
affair. So
Cool. Next game I got is the 49ers Saints. And I got the 49ers taking it 28-7 because the Saints looked that shit and the Niners pulled it off against a decent team. So
Yeah, the Saints looked bad. I thought the Cardinals kind of looked bad too. They couldn't pull away from that game. I don't care if Mac Jones is playing quarterback. I have the Niners winning 31-13. I think it's a blowout as well.
yeah, they got Niners by only 4.5. I guess they're just not liking what they're seeing with the quarterback situation. Maybe
Mac Jones
reacting to that.
firing. He's going to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, or if they're reacting to the fact that they got no receivers. I don't know. I like the Niners here. I do see the Saints being able to score a little better than what I thought they were going to, but maybe that was just the Cardinals. I don't know. So I got it
yeah, the Cardinals don't
27-14.
have a Fred Warner running around.
Yeah,
So.
I got it 27-14, but I do think it could even be 27-10, 27-9, somewhere around there. So
Cool. This next game I got is the Browns Ravens. This is another underdog pick I'm
All
taking.
right.
I'm taking the Browns beating the Ravens.
wow.
And we'll go with 21-19. Go the scoregami. I think
Yep.
that's a scoregami.
I don't. I wasn't brave enough to pick this one. I think the Browns are just. I think their defense is good enough to keep them in the games. I just think the Ravens, how they play offense, how they can run the ball rather than the Cincinnati type of offense where they like to get in gun and kind of sling it around. The Ravens can get under center and kind of pound it. I can see them winning 27-14.
Carson Schwarzenegger has put Derrick Henry on his ass.
He had some good
He
plays last
did,
week.
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Carson-
I like that defense. We've talked about it all
Yeah.
offseason. We really like that defense.
Browns defense, yeah. They got Baltimore by 11.5.
That's outrageous.
So I'm kind of okay with that just because the Browns offense, but that's a lot. That's a big
I'm
spread.
definitely taking that spread. I'm
Um,
definitely taking it.
Yeah, so I've got the Ravens winning 28-10, and it is just because I think that they have way too many options.
Wow,
They-
my
they
$1
can
parlay
just-
last week could have won $10,000. This one's gonna be like 50.
Yeah, they can just keep, like you said, pounding it at them, or they can pass. I mean, they're just so versatile, and I don't think the Browns do not have a Josh Allen to bring it back in the end. So,
Mhm.
yep, I'm going Ravens
Yeah.
28-10.
Next game is Bears versus Lions, and I think the Lions are gonna have a bounce back game, and I think they are gonna beat the Bears 21-12.
I have the Lions as well, bouncing back. I think they're going to look a little bit better on offense. The Bears kind of surprised me. And I don't know if it was more J.J. McCarthy or just that offense, but it couldn't have been that offense because they got really good players. We've kind of raved about their roster outside of J.J. McCarthy, but the Bears defense looked pretty good. But I have the Lions 24-17.
Well, and a huge part of this one for me taking the Lions here is Dan Campbell knows that offense.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got Detroit as 5.5. I mean, Detroit didn't look good last week. I think that's why that number's a little low. I liked what I seen out of the Bears. I thought they had some really good plays. They just kept moving the ball. I thought Caleb Williams ran well. He passed well. But I do like the Lions in this one, 35-28. I see another high scoring one here. I just Bears are going to need to score it because I think the Lions are going to put it on them. But but the score is going to indicate a closer game than what it will
Mhm.
be, I think.
Okay, this next one is the Broncos Colts. And I think the Broncos are gonna have a bounce back game, and actually, like their defense is gonna show what their defense could truly do, and I think they're gonna beat them in a 14-10 win.
I like that. I have the Broncos winning 23-20, but I think it's going to be like a back and forth game, and the Broncos have to kick a last second field goal to win
Okay.
it.
Yeah, they have Denver only by 1.5. I think they're overestimating what the Colts did this week against the Dolphins on offense, and maybe we're underestimating, underreacting to it. But I don't think what's the name, Daniel Jones is gonna carry this team to the playoffs or anything. I think that he's had fluke games like that before.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the regular, and the Broncos defense will shine. I like the Broncos 20-10. And I do like the Colts defense, though.
Yeah, that's why I have it at 14-10.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, next game I got is the Panthers versus the Cardinals. In this one, I'm taking the Panthers 28-27, and we're going to see Bryce Young not only have 3 touchdowns early on, we're going to see him have a game-winning touchdown drive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Calling the game-winning touchdown drive.
This one was hard because I did not like what either team showed during week one. I wasn't impressed with either one of them, but I think the Cardinals have too much firepower. I did really like what Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of did. I think he kind of showed out a little bit on that offense to where he didn't last year. So I got the Cardinals winning 28-17.
And Trey McBride still looked like a dog.
Yeah, he still doesn't catch any touchdowns, but
No.
Yeah, they don't throw it to him there.
Pisses me off for fantasy football.
Yeah. They got Arizona as a 6.5-point favorite. I don't know. I would take that spread. I don't know why it's so high. I mean, Panthers, yeah, they didn't look great, but the Cardinals played the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, at times, they struggled with them.
Yeah.
And so this one was a hard one for me, too. I could go either way on this one, but I think Panthers, I got them. They're going to win this one 27-21. But I could definitely see the Cardinals being able to get this one, too. Same score. But I think you're right. I think Bryce Young's he could throw 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Cool. Next one is the Super Bowl rematch. And I think it's going to go exactly what the Super Bowl did. I think the Eagles are winning at 31-14.
I got the Eagles winning as well. I just think the Chiefs with not having Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy now, they're down to Hollywood Brown and Tyquan Thornton as their receivers.
Yeah.
As much as I like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and I just think it's too much to overcome. I don't think there's a whole lot of options for them. They got Juju Smith-Schuster now probably playing a bigger role than he was anticipating,
Yeah.
and then Travis Kelce kind of looks still like Travis Kelce, like a 35-year-old Travis Kelce. He'll get you those, intermediate yards. He's not going to break away from anybody. But I can see I got the Eagles winning 24-23, but I have the Chiefs probably scoring late to make it closer than it probably should be.
Okay, so you going Eagles as well.
Eagles. Did you guys? So just kind of go on my Eagles rant, man. They're still a 2x2. Jalen Hurts doesn't have to do a whole much. He throws. He only had 2 passes beyond 10 yards last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys looked at his spray chart.
I didn't look at the spray chart. I looked at that chart you sent, though. That was crazy.
Was that time to throw a dot?
And a dot, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Eagles are just so loaded with what they can do. And it's just, I think people are so scared of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown going deep that he just checks it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they just keep the offense rolling, and the defense plays well enough to win.
So I had a hard time with this one. They got Philly at 1.5. I had a hard time with this one, actually. I like the Chiefs at home. I think a bounce back win is in order. And I actually think this one will end up being the game of the week. I think it's going to be neck and neck. And I see the Chiefs winning it with a Butker field goal at the end of the game. So 20-17 Chiefs.
Okay.
But that's
I
still
think
me.
you're wrong.
I mean, that's without any more of the chief on chief violent crime. I
No
mean, if
shit.
they would quit taking out their
Yeah.
own players, geez.
Yeah.
I think that one looked like Kelsey messed up on that one.
Big
bad.
time, yeah.
Like, I don't think he was supposed to come back towards the line at all, but he came right back into Worthy and
he
just wiped
He
him
picked
out.
the wrong player. He picked his own player rather than
Yeah.
the defender.
It was.
And separated his
I
shoulder.
like all the memes when they're like, oh, he looked at me wrong. You got to take him out with, Swift telling him that and stuff.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, this next game I got is the Vikings versus Falcons. And I think the Vikings are going to come ready to play this time. I think it's going to be a quarterback masterclass from J.J. McCarthy.
I like it.
And I think we're going to see a 28-14 win.
I got this one in kind of a shootout. I got the Vikings as well. I got them scoring 28, but I got the Falcons scoring points. I got them 24, so 28-24 Vikings.
Okay. Yeah, they got Minnesota as a 3.5 point favorite. I'm not sure. That seems a little low to me. I know the Falcons looked good against the Bucks, but I thought I don't know. I still think the Vikings are just the better team all around. So I got it Vikings 31-21, and I do think they're going to start a little bit faster this time. I do think the points are going to be there for the Falcons, but they will be at the end of the game probably. So
Cool. Started Monday Night Football. We got two this week, and I got the Buccaneers versus the Texans. I got the Texans taking this one 21-17.
I got the Texans as well, 17-14. I think that just the way the Texans, offensive line and kind of, Nick Chubb actually looked pretty good running the football for them. He's just not as explosive as he used to be, obviously, but I just don't think the Texans are going to be in much high-scoring games, just how their offensive line is built and how good their defense is. I think it was 9-14 last week against the Rams, and I thought they played well. They just had 2 untimely turnovers. That interception hit Higgins in the hand, and when he was coming down, that Rams or defender just took it from him. And then they were going in to score under 2 minutes left in the game, and that running back had the ball punched out.
yeah.
So, I mean, they could have easily won that game against the Rams. So I got the Texans winning 17-14.
Yeah, they got Houston as a 2.5 point favorite, which I'm totally okay with. I think it's going to be a close game. I do like the Texans over the Bucks, but I have it a really close scoring game, 21-20. And I'll be surprised if, like we were talking about, low score game defense, but I do think it's going to be there. Bucks are going to have it at the end, so they'll make it close, 21-20. So, but that Texans defense is for real though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this next one, last Monday night game. I hate that these two teams are playing at 8 p.m. on Monday night, but it's the Chargers versus the Raiders. I got this one as kind of a weird score too. I got the Chargers taking it 23-18.
I like it. I got the Chargers as well. I think they're going to be on like a high of just beating
You got the Chargers, Gage?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. Chargers being on a high of beating Kansas City. I think Kansas City is still has a target on their back. Every team wants to beat them in the AFC. So I see them just continuing on. Jim Harbaugh is still their head coach, so there's never going to be like a letdown, I don't think. I have them winning 31-20.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I have a big game for the Chargers. I really liked what I seen out of Herbert. I don't see the Raiders defense even being close to what the Chiefs are. And even if they are on a decline, I like Max Crosby, though. Dude might get home a little bit.
He's going to get boxed the hell up by Joe Walton.
Joe Walton.
He's the best offensive lineman we've ever seen.
Yeah, and they have LA by 3.5, which is crazy. I thought this should be up there to like 6.5, 7 point favorite to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I only have it as 5-point separation, but I wish it was higher.
So, but I got the Chargers 38-17. I think that's probably the biggest blowout I have of the week. So I think it's going to be like 38-17 because the Chargers weren't really able to run the ball that well last week, and I think they are going to be able to run the ball a hell of a lot better against the Raiders.
I think the Raiders are still going to be able to run the ball attached to Genty, so it's going to be low scoring because they're going to be both sides shooting the clock long.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think you're going to see the Raiders offense out there that much. So 38-17. And this is the game, because there's 2 Monday night games, but this is the game we need the final score on for the listeners. So get us your final score. It's always the last game of the week, no matter if it's 2 games on Monday or, just 1 game on Monday. It's always going to be that last game that starts.
The latest kickoff on Monday.
Yeah. So this is the Chargers Raiders. We need a final score from you. Get with us. It's funny, and also the game of the week too that I think is going to be, like I mentioned, was Eagles Chiefs. What do you guys think is going to be the game of the week?
Game of the week?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to take, as much as I think it's 2 crap teams. I think because it's going to be close. I got the Chargers Raiders.
I like that one. I'm going to go with the first game this week on Thursday night, Packers and Commanders. You got 2 teams that made the playoffs last year, 2 teams that are probably going to vie for the playoffs again this year. So I think that might be the best matchup, maybe, anyway, in my eyes, besides Eagles Chiefs, obviously.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so we got our so far, like I said, me and Jared are tied 12-4. Gage is 10-6. So we're gonna do a running tally. We did have some comments from Luke on what we should do for punishment. He mentioned tattooing the worst team on your body somewhere, on your butt or something like that. He had some He had some comments on there. They were pretty crazy. I'm not doing a tattoo, but we're gonna have to keep those comments coming in. Let us know what you think we should do for punishments. We're looking at them. Only ones we got were from Luke. But yeah, if you guys just want to hit us up on Facebook or Podbean about those, yeah, we'll get into them. Good job, Quentin, and what was it, Luke?
Yeah.
On going 15-2. That's
14.
That's way good.
14-2.
What did I say? 15?
15.
Oh, 14-2.
15.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's 17 games in a season. All right, so they went 14-2. That's really good. That's a good record. But yeah, just make sure you get people playing because one of you guys would have won some money this week. But keep playing, and yeah, let's have some fun. Week 2's on us.